All right, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is sort of a special video where I did a tasting seminar for a nonprofit in Connecticut called Hope After Loss. I did this about a month ago. We tasted a couple of Italian wines. You know, they're dynamite wines, right? So you should definitely check out the video, Vermintino and a red wine from Tuscany. But, you know, I think the organization is worth mentioning. They comfort mothers who've experienced a loss either during or, you know, right after pregnancy. So it's when you think about the energy and the amount of compassion that these people have, you know, it's a really unique organization. I was privileged to be asked to even participate. I hope I can do it again next year. And, you know, I'm going to put links down in the bottom. In the notes, show notes, just in case you want to check out the organization and maybe, you know, throw them a donation or two. But it's a fun video. Hope you enjoy it, and I will see you soon. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you for that that introduction, Christina. I want to thank everybody at the Hope for Loss organization for you know, inviting me to participate in this event. Hopefully, everybody can hear me okay. Coming from you from sunny Florida, as you can tell, my mom has a little bit of a you know, interesting taste because we're in Florida, but we've got the Arizona you know, skull in the background, but that's okay. So I think, you know, when I was thinking about how to present wines for this tasting, right, I naturally found myself kind of going back to Italian wines. So I am of Italian descent. I'm half Sicilian, so sometimes people question whether I'm fully Italian, right? You know, it depends. So what I wanted to do is showcase some wines that were similar enough to what you may like to drink, but different, you know, so it kind of gets you out of a comfort zone. And, you know, so we're not just always drinking the same old thing. And I think that's a lot of what I try to push people towards. I don't go too crazy into a lot of gory details about how the wines are going to be made and things like that. But if you have questions, you're welcome to ask them. You know, I think for me, it's always better to just to keep wine and cocktails and spirits just simple, right? Simple and as accessible as possible, so that people don't get intimidated. Because the world of wine is a bit of a crazy place, and especially in Italy, I feel like the laws and the wine business are actually conspiring against the consumer because it's just so complex and there's so much to know. Two wines we are tasting tonight, right? We have that's not going to end well, so let's put those down. We'll be starting with a Vermintino wine from Sardinia. In southern Italy, or it's an island off of the coast of Italy. And then for the red wine, we'll shift into a Tuscan wine that has kind of an interesting story and profile. So I think we naturally start white to red whenever we're doing a tasting, unless you're in the region of Burgundy and you're lucky enough to be doing a tasting there, they go red to white. But I'm going to start with the Vermentino. So I think everyone should, if you haven't already, you know, get some wine in the glass. Make sure you agitate the wine a bit to get those aromas to be released. It really makes a huge difference in the experience of wine. So that's the other thing. Even though I try to keep it, you know, I keep wine simple, I think there are a few rules that you have to follow. You have to agitate your wine and don't be afraid to spend time, you know, smelling the wine. So let's give you a little background on Vermentino. So Vermentino as a grape, right, is sort of between Sauvignon Blanc and Pinot Grigio in terms of weight. So it's on the lighter side, but depending on the style and how the wine is made, it could get a little heavier, a little closer to what you may be used to in a Pinot Grigio. Vermentino, you know, I think what you generally find on these wines, aromas and flavors of peaches and some citrus, some herbal notes, and every now and then a little bit of an almond and honey type of aroma, depending on, you know, where the wine is made and you know, and how, or where the grapes were grown and how the wine was made. I think, you know, naturally if you take a look at the color of the wine, you can naturally say, oh, it'll be great with seafood and, you know, any sort of calamari and lobster and things like that. And I think after you taste it, after you get the essence of it, you know, you'll definitely understand. So this Costamolino Vermentino from the Argiolis winery is actually a wine that I think I've been drinking for almost 10 years. I'm sort of on a one-man crusade to get people to drink Vermentino, and I'm succeeding, but very, very slowly. So in this case, this is the 2020 vintage, and when I looked at the bottle, I was like, oh, cool, they did a Due Milievente release. I've never had that release. And then, you know, I realized my 10 years of taking Italian, that's just 2020. That's just 2020 written out, idiot, right? But enough talk about the wine. Let's swirl it, smell it, and sip it, and see what we get. So I think what immediately comes to the forefront for me is certainly some citrus notes. I do get a little bit of an herbal quality, and almost a little bit of a peachy vibe, which I've had before in a Vermentino. So let's give it a taste. You'll often see wine professionals. I mean, I like to play a sommelier, you know, on the side, but I'm not a certified sommelier. But you also often see wine professionals kind of, you know, swishing the wine around in their mouth, breathing in some air, kind of making some funny noises, and it's just in an effort to, you know, to get more flavors into your mouth and your nasal cavities to really experience, you know, a lot of the wine. So, I mean, this wine remains one of my favorite. And it's just lively and very easy to drink, and I'm hoping everybody is enjoying it right now. I'll give you a moment just to digest it a bit before we move on to the red wine. It's funny, I'm intentionally not using my popcorn spit cup here because, you know, I don't want to be. There's a nice civilized event. I don't want to be, you know, spitting out the wine, and we're only tasting 2 wines here, so, you know, it's not like I have to monitor my consumption too much. But if you happen to run across one of my videos and you see this in the video, you know what's coming. And you know, whenever I see my mom, she's like, "I can't watch you. I can't watch you when you pull out that popcorn cup." All right. So I'm hoping everybody liked this wine. I mean, and I think you'll know when I said, you know, again, it's somewhere in between a Sauvignon Blanc and a Pinot Grigio. Hopefully you can kind of, if you had some experience with both of those wines, which are 2 of the more popular varieties, certainly in the US, you can kind of see where I'm coming from. And hopefully, you know, Vermentino becomes a favorite of yours. Wine number 2. Okay, so we're staying in Italy. This wine is labeled Toscana, so it's from the Tuscany region, right? As far as you know, what it's allowed to be classified as. But this Donna Laura winery is based in the Chianti Classico region within Tuscany. So if we think of a map of Italy, this is not to scale, obviously, but here's Tuscany, here's Chianti, and then here's Chianti Classico, which is sort of a little bit of a bullseye in the Chianti region. And especially over like the last 5 years or so, the quality of wines coming out of that region has just been, just gotten better and better and better. So when I saw this wine, knowing that all the grapes are grown in that region, even though it doesn't carry that Chianti Classico label, I figured it was a good choice. And then I tasted it and I was like, my God, this wine could easily be twice the price that you'll pay at retail. So this wine, I guess the winery Donna Laura, and the wine that we're trying is a 2018 Ali Toscana. Ali is it's named after her daughter, and the winery is a tribute actually to the owner's aunt. So Donna Laura is the aunt. Ali is the daughter, and they do these neat little drawings on each of their different releases. So you kind of always know that the wine is produced by this Donna Laura winery if you see it on a shelf. So I'm gonna pour this guy. Now I'm guessing that a lot of you have had experience with Italian wine, right? And probably Italian wine from Tuscany, right? Whether that's under a Toscana label, whether that's on like a Brunello di Montalcino or Rosso di Montalcino or Chianti's. And this wine is, it's 90% Sangiovese grape, but they mix in 10% Cabernet Sauvignon. So Sangiovese based wines are usually, filled with nice, like tart cherry. They have really nice acidity, which is why they kind of they go well with really any of your tomato sauces and things like that. But adding a little Cabernet Sauvignon kind of helps with the weight and it darkens it up a little bit, right? So it's not just it's not just cherries that come through. Sometimes you get a little more. You can get some deeper notes, right? Whether that is, more of a black fruit, like a blackberry type of note, or even something like leathery. So let's, again, get the wine agitated, get those aromas released. Don't get too violent, because I've done it where, wine's gone all over the place. And here I am, white shirt, white tablecloth, probably a bad idea for this event, right? Let's give it a sniff. So what strikes me about this wine, I mean, you can definitely, I smell a lot of cherries. It's a little cherry, it's almost like a cherry pie, a cherry jam. To me, there's something like an inherent sweetness in this, at least on the nose, which is really, it's kind of beautiful. So yeah, and like I was saying earlier, this wine drinks like something that's at least twice its price. So this is something you can buy the case. I mean, assuming you like what you're drinking right now. But I think when you kind of look around Italian wines, certainly, and Italian reds, and you put this side by side with some of the others, some of the more expensive wines in the region, you'll be amazed at how it stands up. Yeah, it's dynamite. And it's, sometimes Italian wines can be a little dry. Italian reds, they can be dry. So it's like, kind of get that really very tannic, mouth-drying sensation. And in this one, while it's there, right, there's a little dryness, there's a little bit of tannins, which is that, that sort of sensation of drying your mouth. It's not, it doesn't take away from the experience, right? There's still plenty of fruit And you know, some of the dryness is there, but that's good. It's nice and really well balanced. So I think that concludes what I wanted to cover, at least for these two wines. I'm gonna keep sort of sipping on both of these, and I know we wanted to, we were gonna open up the floor for questions, whether it's about any of the wines we tasted tonight, the process, anything at all. I'd be happy to answer any questions you guys may have. And I just, again, thank you to Christina and the rest of the Hope for Loss organization for having me. It's been a lot of fun, and I'm you know, eternally grateful to participate. All right, we're open for questions. Don't be shy.
I'm not sure if there are any, so I guess I'll wait for the sign from them if there are.
Okay.
From here, but people who are joining us from home can just start talking.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I'll wait a minute.
I don't know if you guys heard little clicks when I was doing the tasting, but I have these little fish markers and they kind of drive me crazy when I'm sort of sitting here and I'm just listening to these click clicks, but they are fun to look at. So.
Well, that must be at your mother's house.
Yes, very Floridian feel. Yeah.
Well, so I just got where there's no questions here, so I guess we can move on.
All right.
I know I poked my head into the big room and I saw everybody's drinking their wine, so
That's a good sign. There was no revolution or a riot. They're like, what is this? What are these wines he chose?
They're enjoying it.
All right, good.
So I just wanted to thank you and say this was a lot of fun. And for those of you who are new fans of Chris, you can look at him on all of his social media channels under the name DrinkinItIn. And we also need to thank Cost Cutter Liquors, who gave us a great deal on the wines featured. So that's it. So thank you so much, Chris.
Awesome, thank you.
We'll see you soon.
Yes.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Thanks, everyone.